The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Run for cover, you discover some will thrive and others suffer. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Ooh, don't wait, don't hesitate. Better speak the truth, let it resonate and let it detonate and get blown away till you keep on rising to a higher place. Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop coming till we hit the top. Gotta keep pushing till the day I make it. Since they won't give it to me, then I got to take it. The pain today is power tomorrow. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. No matter what they say, I wouldn't do it any other way. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Not enough, they keep us smothered. Lower class, never the upper. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of it.
Good evening, U.S. Space Wolf Squad. Visual Commander Wolf Temp. I'm your werewolf. Tonight we are doing our age-old tradition of where it all began with our usual shit talking of Black History Month and how it's a worthless month ever. You know, I gotta say, I celebrated this month for so many years of my youth. You know, attending the school celebrations and school events that we used to do back in the 90s, where in elementary we would, talk about the civil rights leader, mostly the civil rights leader, specifically a certain false doctor. We'll get into him later. As I got older, and bear with me, guys, I'm a little tired, but I'm getting here. I'm getting there. As I get older, I used to celebrate in my own way by, watching my mother's DVD of Malcolm X, play Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, caught a few things, black related, mostly black shows. Watch those every once in a while. Hell, watch Harlem Nights for every Black History Month as well, with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. Just seeing a whole cadre of Black Americans just assemble together to make one of the quintessential Black films to be made for comedy, for history mostly. But over time, as racial tensions have grown and continue to grow, even as of this year, it seems, and with the new shift that's been pushed in a certain direction, there's been a theory I came across, and it a lot of individuals that have dug deep into the history have now confirmed what have always been nagging at my mind with the way how things have been for the past and recent years. And the question I proposed myself one time, with all the witnessing of my own people just attacking other people who don't look like them constantly, and making everything about skin color. And I'm often wondering so much, was the civil rights movement more of a liability than shall we say, a net benefit? I mean, sure, what came from the right to vote, affirmative action, so many other civil liberties that was given to us by the government. And when you think about it like this, nowadays people are screaming it's because of these guys. It's the reason why black folk got their freedom. Well, there's a certain a few no majority individuals that will tell you otherwise. And this encapsulates not just black Americans, but all Americans as well. And of course, coming across a few people and hearing their sides of the story or hearing their sides and viewpoints have come to I've come to once again question the civil rights movement. Bear with me, Twelly. But I come to that questioning of well, the civil rights leaders were right in their march and their movement, and the answer is no. Unfortunately, as much as the history has been told to us for so many years, we want to believe that the civil rights movement did make a way and benefit Black Americans. In fact, it actually made things worse. Black Americans have regressed or wanting to regress back to the good old racist days of America in the, I guess, the far back of the 1950s or the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we begin to see it regress back over the years, like since last year. Like, you know, the call for segregated safe spaces, or the DEI hiring process and stuff, which is affirmative action, but rewarded, of course, very much rewarded.
Yeah, just read the guidelines for Bridge. It basically sets it all out there.
Mm-hmm. We'll get more into that. Hell, we've also seen a multiple divide between black men, black women, and of course, it's something that I've also picked up on too, between both black men and black women. Black men ain't exempt from this. We're just as much as to blame as well. But black women, even in the face of assured and utter destruction, the black woman will essentially choose assured utter destruction before she will even listen to a black man. Well, the black women of today, that is. More on that later, of course, if we even cross that. Again, I'm tired. I might not even revisit that. Make no promises there, ladies and gentlemen. So, as we begin, I'm here with the Hound of the South, who's going to carry me through this stream today, Dominic Powell.
Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everyone. This is the How to Sell Dominic Powell, and welcome to this special of the Real Millennials, where yeah, it's pretty much it's becoming a tradition of us roasting the heck out of Black History Month.
We're here also with the Humble Zararas, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty, and I write things.
Joining us tonight is the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings, YouTube viewers and my fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12, and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey War Squadron. And today, we are doing our traditional videos of roasting the heck out of Black History Month. And honestly, I hope to pray to God that this is going to be the last one.
Yay!
I mean, we've played with it for so many years. At this point, I mean, we used to sing our praises to some of the civil rights leaders. Now, this is kind of like the penultimate right here, due to the fact of the lies being told in history.
It's kind of a pattern. It's like celebrate the month, roast the month, celebrate the month, roast the month. What do you want? Char-broiled bird or fried chicken? And that sounded wrong saying that out loud. I'm sorry.
You'll
And
be
coming
okay.
to roast it with us as well is the Sixth Ranger, the snarky darky hanging out in the shadows, Dark Stranger.
Hello. Oh wait, no wait, I sound too white. I, stranger of darkness. Ho 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 ho
Hmm.
ho ho. I speak my inner Indian because that is allowing me to have privilege like Warrens of Elizabeth who whines for privileges.
About
Ho 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 ho
What, our
ho ho ho
Starbucks
ho.
Pocahontas?
about a few weeks ago, I've had a one-on-one session with our good pal Jay Shearer Finney, speaking on my thoughts of what I've come to dig up and what I've come to learn about our esteemed Dr. King, or as I like to call him today, false Dr. King. But the FBI files now being released after 50 years or so, and pretty much more things will be released about him. I believe next year or 2 years from now, we'll finally get the Martin Luther King tapes that they have of him.
Wait, there's more?
There's
Yep,
more.
there's
Yep,
more.
there's so much more.
That
Oh,
FBI file was
great.
just
You sound. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut before I put my foot in my mouth.
there's that file release was just the first start. What was the first step? The next step will be now the King tapes that they have of them, and my goodness, our Reverend, who is actually also not a Reverend, who never believed in God, never believed in the Virgin Mary, was a recipient of the Margaret Singer Award, and we all know who that lady is.
Oh,
Wait, you don't know who Margaret Singer is?
I, my memory is not that good.
The architect of Planned Parenthood,
Oh, that one.
Yep. Her.
who is also a eugenicist.
Along with alongside
Hey, nigga, now
WB.
I got the rope right here.
Final, allow it. That's what we need tonight.
Yeah, well, it was. Besides, she's not the only eugenist. Just as well, WB Du Bois. Well, he was also a supporter of eugenics.
Dr. King, for all of his preaching nonviolence, also murdered a man with his bare hands in a fist fight.
Ooh.
He was not about nonviolence. He was all about the fisticuffs.
And he gleefully watched a woman get raped.
Uh-huh.
That is also true. He also nearly beat a woman who was one of his many whores that he would pay off.
And he's got no more than like 16 or 17 of them.
Along with a lot of mistresses as well. He was not a faithful husband. That for sure is common knowledge now, and people still try to deny that as well, or try to give it a pass, but shame others for for committing infidelity. Excuse me.
No, I'd rather like say what you will. Well, like about the FBI and its previous head, like J. Edgar Hoover. Who, what? Well, there is the silver lining of them like keeping these tapes among others. And a lot of people to know more like about not just King but also others that were involved in the civil rights movement.
Excuse me. Oh, I'm blanking right now. Him and his posse were also violators of laws. Most of the stuff many of the historical moments where they would get attacked by the police or being removed by quote unquote racist white folk was because they started it. They were the instigators. That whole historical moment where he was at the diner with his white friends, that was planned. He wanted that to happen. He was the instigator. Him and his friends were the instigators.
Okay, why is he sounding less like the MLK in the children's books and now more like one of those sweet to your face, sour behind your back romantic rivals in one of those manhwas?
Right.
Oh, the March on Washington, where they got the hoses and the dogs sicked on them. That was also planned. They were not permitted. They had to get permission to cross that bridge to march on Washington. They did not wait to get the permit. But even when they were waiting, they wanted to instigate that as well. His plan basically amounted to get hurt and look like you got hurt in front of the camera for the American people to see. But if that is the case of the plan, would it behoove them to do it in peaceful means, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the histories would tell you, the history texts would tell you. But no, they were the instigators. And if this is sounding funnily familiar, who's doing it today?
The very same people.
Black Lives
By
Matter.
large mansions.
Black Lives Matter.
Black large
and
mansions,
course,
yes.
And of course, Antifa.
Burn, loot, murder.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And Antifa.
Now, y'all wondering why am I not saying anything bad about Malcolm X, or rather, how I'm still able to call him Brother Malcolm? Let me tell you one thing. I don't agree with Brother Malcolm on his, idealistically, theologically, or even philosophically. I do agree with him on a number of things. Black folk have the right to defend themselves in self-defense, mind you. Don't agree with him always on hating the white man. Now, I'm glad that he kind of switched gears over the years.
He changed his mind.
Yeah.
On that front, which is good on him. But let me tell you one thing, and the reason why I still come to respect Brother Malcolm. Brother Malcolm ain't no punk.
Nope.
Brother Malcolm stand on his ground. He stand for what he believes in. He walked the walk and talked the talk. Dr. King, again, false Dr. King, and I call him false because his doctorate is falsified. His PhD is falsified. And let me tell you one thing that's going to scare the hell out of everybody who's going to hear this, and you're going to hear this many times over, not just from me, but many others like me, or who also don't look like me. Dr. King was a Russian communist plant. He was a space cadet.
Sorry.
No, you can laugh.
No, you can laugh.
And not to mention, his death was staged by who else? The very same people who got him into that position.
While
AKA
not staged,
the communists.
While not staged, it just basically symbolized that he outlived his usefulness. And he was just following the next and last step, which is be a martyr. And that's where they finally got us, hook, line, and sinker.
I had never heard of Kool-Aid being a .22 caliber bullet.
And who's continuing the lie? Who's continuing the BS? None other than Jesse Jackson and many others like him, who are
Oh yeah.
also his top lieutenants. You if you guys don't want to believe me, take it from Julie Brown.
It was a liberal commission,
Mm-hmm.
some of calm simps, and the cause of it all was communist dominated. The riots in this country are absolutely communist inspired and communist dominated. When I was a member of the Communist Party, the communists ordered me to incite other of my people to riot.
I'm Julia Brown. For 9 years, I was a member of the Communist Party, serving as an undercover agent for the FBI. During that time, I learned that the communist conspiracy had been planning and working for years to bring violent revolution to America. It was to be a communist revolution, but the great majority of the American people would not be allowed to realize that until it had already happened. If all goes according to the communist blueprint, Americans will believe that the chaos and violence has something to do with civil rights. Our enemies were quick to find our weakest point for their attack. They knew that racial differences could provide them with an excellent wedge to divide our people. Their strategy simply has been to keep hammering on that wedge, to drive it deeper into our social structure, to open all wounds that have long since healed, and deliberately to create new ones wherever they can. Now, this doesn't mean that there isn't a legitimate need for the advancement of civil rights for many of our Negro citizens. Of course, there is a need there. Otherwise, communist agitators posing as civil rights leaders could never hope to enlist massive support for their schemes. The aspirations of Negroes for full equality were not created by communists, but they are used by communists in such a way that idealistic Americans of all races can be tricked into implementing the communist blueprint for revolution. Having been on the inside of the Communist Party, it's easy for me to recognize this revolutionary agitation in disguise. But the average American finds it's hard to believe that something as worthy and noble sounding as a civil rights movement could possibly be a communist maneuver.
Communism must be built with non-communist hands.
Hey, bro. What? Oh my God!
Now she doesn't make mention of Dr. King, but she was around Dr. King as an undercover agent, and she had nothing but unkind things to say about Dr. King. She cited him as very nefarious. Let's go with that, nefarious. And even as she was still around, she brought up Jesse Jackson as another issue that we're facing today with the Communist Party that has infected the black community. Now, one interview, one of the interviewers had asked her, you know, the things that she's saying may come off as slandering her own community. And the one thing she said that really, I would say, spoke to me that I also will hold now dear to my heart to the day I die. Don, I think you heard it too, so help me out. But I'm gonna paraphrase it, right? She said, "I don't put my skin color to my country above my country."
Correct.
She was very deep into the American way, the American values of this country. Now, granted, she didn't come to she didn't step into this as we saw her to, in that clip, because she was already learning the stuff beforehand. She was already roped in there for a while until she began to notice. And that's when she was contacted by Hoover. I think she was contacted by Hoover, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the FBI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's where she begins her awakening. And there were and granted, she was formerly part of them for a while, and now she was slowly waking up to their maliciousness and what they were doing, what they were actually doing, what they were trying to accomplish, and it shook her to her core. She was a working woman. Oh, no, she wasn't working. She was a housewife, if I'm not mistaken, originally. Then she got her job, being an undercover agent, and to say that she's strong is an understatement, but she had her vulnerabilities too now. And of course, the day that Dr. King died, even then his posse, especially Jesse Jackson, really took the initiative to try to falsify his part in the event. Smearing Dr. King's blood all over him, pretending that, embellishing the stories, trying to prop himself up. I have another theory, hypothetically speaking. Now imagine if Dr. King didn't get shot that night. Imagine that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would wonder at what point would they decide to start destroying him, humiliating him, degrading him, and destroying his image.
Right after he's outlived his usefulness.
Not really, humble. Not outliving his youth. Like, imagine if he had decided to say some things, and it could have been anything, right? Say some things that didn't sit right with them. How quickly would they cancel him, right? And I know it's so I'm going so focused of Dr. King, but bear with me, y'all. Stay with me. Oh, Rosa Parks. Let's segue to Rosa Parks real quick.
Didn't Rosa Parks get jailed?
Yes, she did. But that was also planned. She was also a space cadet.
Huh.
The bus boycott was an opportunistic movement on their part. All because they want to exaggerate an issue with the buses. Which, mind you, this issue sparked up long before the bus boycott happened. So they were late to the party on that one. Or rather, they knew of another incident and never dared to even prop this incident up. A 14-year-old Negro woman was arrested for refusing her seat, the front seat, mind you, to a white woman. Help me out here, Don. Who was that young girl? If you looked her up,
I just said Claudette Cole.
say it louder because we can't hear you.
Her name. Her name is Claudette Colvin.
Claudette Colvin, who was also pregnant. Thank you, Star Storyteller. Who was also a pregnant young lady. Locked her up, but Dr. King out of wedlock, and she was tired. She also adds, Star Storyteller is with us. Star, we're down a woman. You want to join us tonight? Let me know in the comments. I'll pager you. But yeah, Claudette Colvin. She was a 14-year-old out of wedlock pregnant woman that was arrested at the bus for refusing her seat to a white woman because she was tired and she was pregnant. Of course, they locked her up, and the Colvin case was going through it. They were fighting real bad, and she was not the only woman that was also locked up. There was she and two other women. It was three women that were locked up for the same incidences, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the outcome came about when it came down to we being able to sit wherever we want, it's because the courts, they took it to Supreme Court. It's cool, girl. It's cool, girl. You go and get yourself some sleep.
Could always ask if, since Ishii's always got stuff to say, you could always reach out to him and see if he wants to join.
That man probably asleep.
Come on, it's Arizona time. He's awake like you.
Yeah, but he's probably busy.
You never know until you ask.
True. But it's already on the spot. We're already going
We're on the roll.
Yeah, we're already on the roll.
Also, just a quick correction. When that happened, Claudette was 15, not 14, and she's still alive, 85 years old.
I said 15, fool.
No, you said 14.
No, you said 14.
My lips rubbed together. I said 15.
You said 14.
Y'all ain't hearing me right.
Let's just keep going.
I said it 3 times. 15 years old. I'm gonna watch the playback. Watch. I'm gonna tag the time. It's like Negroes. I said 15 3 times.
Okay.
4 times as I'm saying it right now.
If you say so.
Now, just a segue for anybody curious. Wait, she was 15 and pregnant? Different times, and yeah, not everything's like how they say it is in the TVs and movies.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
But
back
yeah,
then, you could get a job and you're not even 10.
Exactly. She along with a lot of women took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional to have the Negroes sit mainly at the back of the bus, and they overturned the ruling and decided to only for that state, I believe. I think it was specifically in that state, within that state.
Yes.
And it only rivered out to all the states after the bus boycott.
And the state in question was Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. Thank you so much. You're a good man. Montgomery, Alabama ruled it out unconstitutional. Black people start black people are allowed to sit everywhere they please on the bus. Now, that's when the bus boycott showed up. That didn't happen until they decided to throw Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks, mind you, has a husband to take her to and from the school because she was going to school at the time, where they were training them to be communists. Again, I'm blanking on the name. I don't have the names right now. Dominic, you're my information man. So have my back, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain school that they went to, and all three of, I believe, her, King, and one more went there, and that's why they were trained as space cadets. Now, space cadet is a slang term of useful Negro, as I like to call them.
Oh.
To utilize to cause civil unrest, to stir up problems where there ain't none, create problems where there ain't none, and do exactly what in this case their commie friends wanted them to do, who also just happen to be white. That's what I call them, or as we like to call them, sellout, coon, Uncle Tom, or Sambo. Our correct term is Sambo, and or as I like to call them, house Negroes.
Well,
in training.
Where I heard the term space cadet, it meant something a lot differently. Let's see. I looked it up on Word Hippo. It was a space cadet is a daydreamer, dreamer, or fantasist. A cosmonaut, astronaut, or spacewoman exploring outer space. An easily distracted person who lacks focus and is often absent-minded. That's the meaning I grew up with. Or a person addicted to narcotics.
Hey, we would. Hey, he was on them drugs too.
Oh gosh, that actually.
I ain't saying that hyperbole either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that man be binging. He would go on lots of benders too in his sex orgies that he would participate in. So I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that hyperbole.
That actually happened, and Nelson Mandela, another figure like people like would praise, but are slowly coming around to remember that he wasn't a great guy.
Yep, and actually none of them, the guys who we revere as leaders, like black guys who we revere as leaders, like MLK Jr. or Gandhi or some sorts, like they're not great guys.
Now, Gandhi, he did not have any kind opinions about black Americans.
Nope.
Man, it's the equivalent of it's the equivalent of like tattooing a lover's name on your forehead and then you break up.
I mean, the closest thing that we're gonna have to black leaders as of nowadays that actually do have some common sense are Vince Ellison that Wolf mentioned, and Thomas Sowell. Yeah.
Yep.
We got a few others that are not as profound or famous as those guys are.
Like Annie Malone?
Annie Malone, yeah. Well, also Bayard Rustin, who actually, before he died, he spoke out against affirmative action.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the guys with Martin Luther King, and yet even he disagreed with him.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and also he.
And I left one out. Sorry, Dom. The woman who's part of who runs the Standard of Truth podcast. I forgot what was her name. April. Thank you, Wolf.
Well,
we're naming mostly
Larry Elder.
Larry Elder, yes. My man, Larry Elder.
And also,
many other black.
Coleman Hughes.
Coleman Hughes, yes, sir. Glenn Leary,
and also, I should not be blanking on his. I should not be blanking on his name. his co-host.
I think his name is John. John McWhorter, I think.
McWarren.
McWhorter. He has a weird last name, but I like him too.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh okay. Okay. It's John McWhorter.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's
Not
the-
the common surname, but he's he's good people. What needs to be like kept in mind. One is like with these guys, like put on like common sense, but they also come from desperate political leanings. It's not just one.
Mm-hmm. They may not always agree with each other either, but that's the beauty of it. It's like the diversity of thought.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's diversity of thought and freedom of expression and action. And over here in the States, it's like we celebrated that until that paired until
Let's
all
get back
that
to Rosa
changed in
Parks
the late
real
2000s.
fast. Yeah, Rosa was ordered to be on there and start a ruckus mostly.
Mm-hmm.
She was not there to be tired, and the thing is, she had her own transportation. She did not need to take public transportation. And that's when the bus boycott happened right after her arrest. And of course, the rest is history, where it became a big thing. But what I want to point out is the fact that with the whole
Claudette
COVID case, it's a testament to one thing that really breaks the civil rights movement narrative. It's the fact that as our community is progressing through the times, right? You know, working with white folks, living with white folks, we've done that by ourselves, alone, without a movement. Yes, sometimes we do have certain people that do stand up and stick up for us too. Every once in a while, sometimes it'd be a group. But the thing is that when push came to shove, you know, there'll be at least a group of us get together and handle it ourselves. We didn't really need them, to be honest. As a matter of fact, the whole them marching to get the right to vote, Black people already had the right to vote before them even stepped in to make it solidified the way it was solidified. They basically put a right on top of a right, an existing right. If you think about it.
Yeah, because that's the thing with a bunch of these crazies, whether it's someone of a different ethnicity, or of either gender, or of where they hailed from, basically.
Orientation?
Yeah, or orientation. They would have all these rights to begin with, and yet they just immediately throw them out in favor of wanting exactly those rights they've thrown out for the sake of attention.
They didn't get thrown out. They just got overshadowed by the idiotic ones.
The loud vocal minority within the existing minority.
Mm.
In this case, minorities plural.
Yes.
See, I believe what year was it when we really got the vote? The Black man got the vote.
1965.
1965. We've already got the right to vote. But Dr. King and his posse had to get all extras with it. I mean, I would like to review all of our laws that were passed down over the decades, and I'll slap my knee laughing on how probably most of them sound far too similar to the other, just worded differently.
Yeah.
To really show how foolish some of these people were back in the days when they were always just issuing out laws after laws after laws. And I'm like, at some point, do some of these laws sound a bit too similar to one another?
Too similar.
Thinking about this, yeah. Thinking
Make-
back
it
to
make-
some of the laws from the amendments in the U.S. Constitution, because there's a whole
One-
book about it.
Oh yeah, one of them being the 14th Amendment of 1868, which granted citizenship to formerly enslaved Americans.
Mhm.
And also the 15th Amendment.
Then on top of that, you know, same thing sounds similar. It makes you wonder if they just have amnesia every decade or so.
It's kind of like a fashion trend. History repeats in 10-year cycles.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Here's another one that really kind of broke my heart a little bit. George Washington Carver. Kind of found out the man didn't invent peanut butter.
Well, no, he didn't invent peanut butter.
No.
Yeah, but he is the main now. George Washington Carver, like he did found out multiple ways of how like that plant can be used. He just didn't invent peanut butter, but he is a major contributor because the inventors that really helped establish peanut butter the way it is. Granted, it started like first with the Incas and the Aztecs way back like centuries ago, but really how peanut butter came to be is through these guys: Marcellus Gilmore Edison, who was a pharmacist who actually patented peanut paste in 1884. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, which also helped patent the process of making peanut butter using raw peanuts. Ambrose Straub, who patented a peanut butter making machine in 1903, and Joseph Rosefield in 1922, who invented a way to make peanut butter smoother and more enjoyable by adding partially hydrogenated oils to it.
The thing that makes it funny is Kellogg was the guy who funded who started the Kellogg cereal company.
Mm-hmm.
They're great.
Yeah. Now, I'll say people go back to Carver, like with and how it perpetuated the myth of him being the sole inventor of peanut butter. Like how that came about was through one of the books that he published. It's called "How to Grow Peanut and 105 Ways of Preparing It for Human Consumption." And in that book, there was a recipe for peanut butter. It was originally published in 1916. It was so popular that it resulted in peanut crops going from 500,000 acres planted to 4 million acres planted.
So remember, kids, whenever time you think of George Washington Carver, he is the black man that figured out how to grow peanuts more efficiently.
He was also the guy that invented a form of peanut shampoo.
That man loved his peanuts.
He was
considered... He's a botanist. He's a botanist and created over 300 inventions.
Yes, he was considered a founding father of the peanut industry.
Oh yeah.
Because he found so many uses for peanuts. He wasn't very good at citing sources, but back then they didn't really think to cite sources.
Yeah. One of his over 300 inventions is lantern oil, which came out from peanuts.
Okay, we're in the section where we actually praise black folk for actually doing something, not these jokers these opportunistic jokers.
Not the conspiracy theorist tinfoil hat brigade.
Yes,
I wouldn't go as far as say that. The civil unrest upstarters.
Mm-hmm. And also like with there are actually members of the civil rights movement who did more for not just like blacks, but like other people as well, and they're not even black. They're not even black themselves. So it just makes you wonder why folks like James Reeb, who was a Unitarian Universalist, who was like there and who was unfortunately killed. They killed by separatists and segregationists.
Mm,
Funny enough, now that you're talking about people being murdered, now let me get into another fact that really a lot of people tend to not know or overlook if they do know. The fact that Dr. King almost got murdered the same way, nearly the same way as Malcolm X by our own people. Almost got murdered by RAM. It's an acronym.
For what? What does it stand for?
Something. I
yeah,
don't.
let me see.
I
I
just
can
know
look
it.
it up.
I just know it's a black faction that was very extremist on their views towards quote unquote white America.
No, they make they will make the Black Panthers look like chumps.
Let's just
Also saints.
to put simply, they were the original Find Wakanda Brigade.
Oh, the Revolutionary Action Movement, RAM, was a black nationalist organization that was active from 1962 to 1968. RAM was the first black group to use Maoism in the United States and influence the Black Power movement. They came around in 1962, founded by self-defense advocates Robert F. Williams and Queen Mother Moore. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Just listen to this. It sounds like a cartoon. RAM was also associated with communist intellectuals like James and Grace Lee Boggs, as in 2 G's, Boggs, Boggs. What RAM did was they used tactics like mass demonstration and armed self-defense to advocate for, was the first organization in 1960 to advocate for urban guerrilla warfare, and RAM's paper, The Crusader, helped popularize clandestine armed tactics. Their politics influenced the Black Power movement, and RAM's use of guerrilla warfare helped transition from armed self-defense to armed struggle against a political enemy. But here's the thing I find funny. Maoism is Chinese communism, the one that's actually causing a lot of problems in China. So that's like deciding feminism and communism go hand in hand when they really do not. Even though they both have similar issues and weaknesses, and that's probably why they get along like peanut butter and jelly thrown into a fire.
Roasted peanut butter and jelly? Blah. I wouldn't imagine eating that.
Well, it actually ends up tasting more like rubbered toast.
I wouldn't know. I haven't ate rubber toast, but yeah, they were very bad guys.
I've burnt a lot of things in my day, so that's how I learned.
Let's get back to the point. RAM was very bad. But what people don't tell you is that they were on the verge of trying to kill Dr. King, and I believe it was Hoover who sent the FBI to stop them from doing that. You're welcome, black folk.
Yeah, and it was actually like one of those times where Hoover and the FBI actually did something right.
And a lot of people like to shit talk Hoover a lot, for sure.
I mean, that not to say like they're not wrong in doing so, but again, like there's a silver lining like when he was in charge of the FBI, because like if it was taken out like sooner rather than later, we wouldn't have these tapes regarding King and other members of the civil rights movement.
Now I'm gonna move on to my most loathsome group. RAM comes a close second.
Yeah,
they made RAM look like a fucking playground, and y'all probably know who I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
Y'all have heard me say them with such talk about them with such vitriol. The Black Panthers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those.
I'm gonna
those
tell you right
guys.
now, even
Which
as
I've
a
actually taken back what I
kid,
said previously.
even as a child of, I believe I was around 7 or 8 years old. I could, or maybe 9. But even as a child of 9 years old, I never liked the Black Panthers, ever. They rubbed me the wrong way completely. Even the movies that portrayed them very heroic, I never liked them.
I just find that to be eye rolling and a blatant case of historical revisionism.
Mm-hmm.
I
Even in Forrest Gump, when he met the Black Panthers, when they're being shown to be very nice and all. Oh no, there wasn't like even in that room that he shared the same with Jenny. You can easily tell that if Forrest left Jenny, which he did, unfortunately, but if he had left her that very night, still bad things were going to happen to her the longer she lingered
oh
that house, because the Black Panthers, they don't tell you this, but the Black Panthers are very savage in their
Rapey.
movement.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
you go.
Well, also racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're criminals,
and
basically.
we've had a
They're
Marvel
basically
character named
gangs.
after him.
They smoke pot a lot. They drink a lot, and they run amok around, and they're murderers and slayers of cops.
Why do they sound like barbarians in t-shirts?
Because they are.
Try black leather. They mostly wore black leather, and they always have had big afros.
And they also wore berets.
Wait, so
With
they
braids.
acted like a villain from Conan the Barbarian, had afros bigger than the guy who painted happy trees, and wore leather like you'd seen in the Blue Oyster gay bar.
Child, I ain't even gotten there yet.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. It's just
No. Child of Flower brought the NAACP. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The NAACP comes to a third next to Ram and next to the Black Panthers are the top group that I despise.
well, we've got barbaric black leather daddies and the Black Panthers, and Ram had a lady that was literally called Queen Mother Moore, who I think was supposed to be an American activist, but yeah. When I was a student in San Francisco, there was a conversation at a political rally I went to where a white man tried to convince me the BP were heroes.
Oh my God! It's always white people that always try to do that shit, don't they? It's always white folks.
It's the
Vocal minority.
Present company excluded.
Vocal minority.
It's a lot of local minorities that end up like buying into the bull crap.
Even
try to
Forrest
educate us.
Gump portrayed them as a bunch of unpleasant a-holes. You just don't notice where there is a DV scene occurring.
She's not wrong.
A DV?
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Right. That fucking hippie asshole.
Yeah, who was unironically associated with the Black Panthers.
Yeah, Queen Mother Moore.
Queen
Sounds like a Teen
Mother
Titans
Moore
villain.
sounds like a Teen Titans villain. Yes, that was
Yeah.
my thought
Yep.
exactly.
Well, she sounded more like a blaxploitation villainess.
Yeah.
But you guys are not wrong though. You guys are not wrong either.
Well, according to the African Intellectual History Society, she was supposed to be the matriarch of the captive African nation. And This is, and titles like this are why I have learned you always take them with a grain of salt. Like, for example, CBS, CNN, NBC, even Tucker Carlson
And Fox.
and Fox News. They're speaking to an audience. They aren't speaking the news. They're speaking to the audience, what they believe is right, what is truth to them. And while I am getting in moral relativism here, it's like the facts will always be skewed.
Yeah. Which is why no one trusts the media anymore, and it's also a good reason why to just quit the news channels.
And most of my news lately had been emails from the Patriotic Post because I like the memes. Want to get that fact straight? I like the memes. They're funny because they can also be very stupid. And the and Newsweek has this rating system. I kid you not, they had a rating system on the bottom of their thing that has whether it was too left leaning or too right leaning.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that before.
Let me get more into it. The Black Panthers, again, like I said, they were murderers and slayers of cops because they obviously hated cops. It was white cops was always a big issue with white cops were like the bedrock of civil drama way back when, and to some degree it's true.
Mm-hmm.
To some degree it's true. I'm not going to deny it. You know, white cops were very brutalistic in their apprehension of minorities. You know, and some have committed some very heinous crimes as well. I'm not going to ignore that.
Mm-hmm. But it was not universal. It's a case by case basis.
But the outright
even back then like their peers like would not only reprimand them for their actions, but they will also take away their badges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yet people like to use that as an excuse of police hating black folk, which is the case of BLM.
Oh, there is a quote from the Apothecary Diaries that I love that says, "No, don't use conjecture." I know this is kind of stupid. My art teacher told me about it once when some people would statistically follow it because there was a pattern, and statistically they'd go after it based on the pattern. It's kind of like that one scene in Men in Black when the guy would try to shoot whatever looked like a monster, but the main protagonist, plot armor included, shot the little girl carrying a quantum physics book.
Yeah, James Edwards.
That's not plot armor. That's a plot point.
Well, okay, it's a plot point. But
it's more actually no, it's more of character. What's the word? It's
establishing
character establishment. There we go.
Character establishment. Yeah, okay. I get my stuff mixed up. That's why I always have to research. But it is that point where he's like, well, what if that guy is doing exercise? That guy, he's got like a tissue. That kid has a quantum physics book. What kid reads quantum physics?
And you know, James is not wrong.
Well, it fits because he is trained to be a cop, and the detectives have to look at the clues and see things that are out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I didn't point out when we had that Men in Black stream, and it's something that this is mostly speculative, really.
Oh, go ahead.
And we'll get back into what we're talking about tonight. But what I speculated with that was he actually detected the alien threat, the real alien threat.
Mm-hmm.
Which the alien itself was was wearing a disguise among the aliens that were out there. And think of it like this, right? You're going for the fall guys, whereas the ringleader is actually walking through unexpected. You just protected a little girl when in fact it was an alien in disguise, ready to wreck shit. That's how I see it. Why he was chosen due to even though it was a joke of a black cop shooting a white girl.
That moment in Men in Black served as a secret test of character for James before he was recruited by the Men in Black.
But we'll move on. Let's get into my third most despised group, and the reason why I despise this group was because I used to revere them too, and a lot of things that they accomplished. But now looking back, they're no different than the civil rights movement, the NAACP. I have become disenfranchised with them for over the years, especially nowadays of what they allow and what they praise now.
Yeah, they are the definitions of Sambo.
Or hypocrites too.
Oh, big time. A Sambo
time
and a hypocrite are deadly combinations.
They will praise single parenting, gang violence, gangster rap, and all manner of hateful things. And I believe they have ties to some group that's paying that's really giving the fun they're funneling money to them. So
yeah,
they whatever good that they once was, or what they think they once was, they are no longer that in my book. They're very corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they were ever noble, that is. And if they were, they're corrupt now.
I never even heard of these people.
You never heard of the NAACP, and you lived in this world in what amount of years? Wait, the lady must not share her age. We'll keep that a secret.
1987, Year of the Rabbit.
Okay. Same here. 1987.
And yes, I am one of those many people that have not paid attention to many charity organizations.
But I'm just thinking like you could have ran into maybe a few news outlets that may have made mention of the NAACP, maybe in a magazine.
I have looked up I actually looked up the thing I grew up playing on was a kids encyclopedia. But most of the time I looked up I read I don't know.
No, not that Sambo from Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Well,
I'm sure she knows she's joking.
Yeah, it's actually.
I'm just making sure.
Okay, most of the stuff I know about Black History was the time when Brer Rabbit decided to kiss a tar doll. He got stuck.
What?
It would have been. Yeah, that was a Brer Rabbit story that didn't make it into the Disney cartoons. And there are lots of kids' books from way back in the day that did show all the stories of Uncle Tom's Cabin as school textbooks pre-1980s. And I've also grew up on like most of the Looney Tunes stuff that showed a saccharine history of America, like the American West stuff, but I love the jokes in it. That's the reason why I watched it. The NAACP, I remember it being as like something probably on 60 Minutes, and I flipped the channel or went to go read a comic book or something because that was like boring.
Mm.
It's like,
that's an appropriate response.
I mean,
I don't blame you.
people blah 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 blah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't.
And
I
on
don't-
that
we don't blame
note-
you.
On that note, I do like to share something about this that, and I think we're just about to talk about everything that we said here, just so eventually we're going to be wrapping up. Is that right?
Nearly there, but keep going. I'll let
Alright.
you know.
Getting into some juicy recent news about Black History Month, Google's been removing it, along with Pride Month, on their recent calendars. Dude, now Google has been known for being the wokest of woke of a lot of companies
search
that they
engine.
have been. That but they have been removing those things because the CEO of Google, has went to Trump's inauguration, and the woke people, of course, lost their shit, and it's just more so like, yeah, there have been way too many holidays.
Considering February is also National Self-Check Month, that's sublime.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
It's also National Embroidery Month, National Snack Food Month, and National Hot Breakfast Month.
What?
Yeah, they always like to center their holidays around food when it's supposed to be something of, holidays are supposed to be a celebration of certain types of religion. They come from certain religions, like Valentine's Day comes from St. Valentine, St. Patrick's Day, Christmas to celebrate the birth of Christ.
Of course.
But then when it comes to any of these, it's just a religion they've made up just so they could feel as though they're a part of the world, but they haven't found their place in the world by just being, because they're completely disconnected from reality altogether. Whoop-de-doo.
They're trying to find their pedestal in the world.
I mean, why do you think so many people like no longer use Google as a search engine because there are better alternatives?
We're getting there. We're getting there. That's one thing I will say. We are definitely getting there. But yeah, NAACP, don't like them. The Black Panthers,
Nobody likes them.
hate
Black
them,
light.
loathe them. Every time I see them, especially when Beyonce got on the Super Bowl that one year when she got on the Super Bowl dressed as a Black Panther. I was like, ooh, girl. If there's ever a reason to hate you.
Yeah, she lost her. I stopped listening to her music a long time ago, and she lost, along with my respect for her as a person. Especially if you look into the history of what was going on when Destiny's Child was active.
Leia has said her piece multiple times. But yeah, that time when she was at that Super Bowl, I forgot what year it was, but when she got up on there and was dressed as the Black Panthers, was like, ooh. I'm so glad I wrote you off.
I never really got into her music, really.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Beyonce was when she was Foxy Cleopatra on Austin Powers 3.
See, that was when she was less insufferable.
And as for the outfit, that was from 2018.
Right. It had been either 17 or 18. It was not 2020.
Beyonce dressed as a barbaric black leather daddy.
You funny. But no, like she was when she was Foxy Cleopatra around that time. That was like around, I think, 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
She was not that insufferable. She was really on fire and really on her way. Granted, what had to be done to do that is deplorable. But no, she was when she was soloing and going all the way.
Hold on. Child of Fire says 2003.
Oh, that's when it came out. Okay.
Right, 2003. 2003. Yeah, I think around.
Which makes worse.
Yeah, exactly.
But wait a minute. No, not Gold Member wasn't released 2007. It was 2003.
Right.
Yeah.
2003, she was on her way. She was doing gospel stuff for a while, or at least gospel-like stuff, right? And then
R&B
she
soul.
R&B soul with a hint of. I'm saying when she did the Fighting Temptation, she also dabbled in a little bit of gospel.
Yeah, she did.
Hmm.
And this was after. And this was after they disbanded like of Destiny's Child.
Mm-hmm. But hear me out. Hear me out. Where I'm going with this. After that, she was the original Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And I do mean second act Taylor Swift. I'm not talking about first act Taylor Swift. I'm talking about second act. Second act's the one where she had a flood of breakup songs. And in the case of Beyonce, though, in Beyonce's case, though, it was she basically just added herself into the strings of ladies debuting their black ladies, I mean, debuting their songs over some dude cheating on them. Because I think around after 2004 and onward, just strings upon strings of girls saying about a guy cheated on them or being cheated on.
Oh, that is a very old genre. There's even a Christmas Carol of a girl cheating on a guy with Santa Claus. Don't ask me where I got that one. That was like one of my college roommates who was like 18, just meh.
Okay. Sorry, something distracted me. But no, where I was going with this? Yeah, it was rare.
A string of breakup songs.
Yeah, it was rare. Yeah, we were on the fun section for a while. Bear with us, because I think we've said what we had to say so far. What was on our mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can have a little fun. There was a string of women saying about being cheated on or have been cheated on, or a man that just cheated on her and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Probably just the amount of times there have been a lot of simp songs I heard from Big Time Rush.
That was later, dude.
That was later.
You didn't see. Here's the thing, you didn't grow up in my time, where I just heard nonstop. Oh, me, myself, and I is all I got, and I've been down, and all about, and it ain't no sense to cry. Or Khaleesi's, I hate you so much right now. And she was 90s, mind you. She was 90s. Jesus Christ, 90s was big on that shit too. But no, it was rare to find any song where a girl was talking about either falling in love, being in love, appreciating a man in love. Okay? It was almost rare. Almost. I mean, hell. You know, Brandy had maybe one I hate my boyfriend song or two. But dang it, she still sung about love.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these girls, like around the mid 2000s, from 2004 all the way to 2008, nonstop just angry about a dude cheating on them.
Or heck, hey, I remember and I listened to this one song from Drew Hill, their mixture of hip hop, R&B, and soul, like in my bed, the original and the remix, which is good, not only good but better. And it's all talking about like a guy like learning that his woman was cheating on him.
Oh
Dude.
Yeah, you're right. The dudes were not exempt from this either. The male performers.
This goes to show like infidelity and philandering. It happens to both sexes.
But man, that was the hot subject to sing about a lot though. Remember back in the days in the 90s, they were all about the fall in love and more so love making.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, but even even like during that time and prior, where there were songs of mutual and amicable breakups.
Yeah, we're missing those today, actually.
Yeah, or even like songs about like friendship, you know, like
Hey,
they're missing as well.
what was the best amicable breakup song ever?
Yeah, I know one from Al Green and the oh
That's all you need to name. For the Good Times by Al Green. Lay your head upon my pillow. God, man, we need more songs like that, right?
mm-hmm.
Mm.
And he's still
Hold the
he's actually
wall
and he's
and
still active.
the body.
I mean, we would probably have more songs if people can't actually get their shit together.
Well, one
I
thing's
mean,
for sure,
look at Michael
they need to
Jackson.
take them
Yeah,
they need to take them
he does
away from
love
the
and happy
industry.
songs.
We need industry reform. That's what we need. That's
Mhm.
my suggestion. That's my idea. Industry reformation, to be exact. Reformation of the industry. Because at this point, they're sure a lot of people are hating the fact that all is sung is either sex, philandering, infidelity, and hookup culture.
Oh,
But man, the industry knows that it's the crack. It's the crack, the opium of music right now.
Mm.
I mean,
And you know
the
what?
most recent song that's actually a bit where you can, I would say you could comfortably let your child or any of your young sibling listen to is the Operative song. And that song, if you really research what it really means, it's quite
spicy.
kind of questionable. Kind of.
Explicit?
It's not explicit. It's partially harmless comparatively to the hookup songs that we've been hearing lately. So
Oh, you mean the
it's
pop songs on Toddler Time Party Rhyme?
what?
One of Alexa's radio stations.
The Operative song is on
Oh.
there.
Yes, along with that one song, What Does the Fox Say?
Oh, that song from so
That
many years
song is
ago?
that song is
Yes,
fire.
it is on the Toddler Time radio station. They take that radio station ends up being the one where you take all the songs that were pop, kids pop. If they don't have any cuss words in it, they get shoved into that radio station. And it's all electronica all the time, not the not the
Hang
ones
on.
you'd find in the nightclub, but it's basically blares that
Wait,
loudly.
wait a minute. Before we even move on to fun time, let's hear Dark's opinions about what we talked about tonight so far. He's been quite silent.
Oh,
I just
sorry.
noticed that.
Well, which part do you want me to talk about? The good times or the really ugly stuff?
Basically, from what what you've gathered here, from what we said.
And sometimes heroin is involved.
Pretty much, same opinion I walked into. History's a bitch when you really learn it. People got really screwed and still getting screwed because of it. We're celebrating the wrong people, and some things just shouldn't be celebrated at all. Yeah.
Even the streets that are named after Dr. King or false Dr. King are some of the worst streets to walk through.
That is an irony.
I
Yep.
mean,
Oh,
they make fusses about all these statues of Confederates and so on, and yet how many of them were really that bad compared to all these people they prop up?
That's
mhm.
about as bad as when they decided to put a little girl in
Ooh,
front of the bull statue.
y'all want to
Yeah.
hear the? Hang on. Y'all want to hear the? Y'all want to hear the irony of the bus boycott?
Hmm.
Even after all that hard work through the bus boycott, guess where black people sat?
In the
In
back.
the back of the bus.
Still. You want to know why? Yeah, want to know why we still sit at the back of the bus?
Why is that?
It's not due to white supremacy. It's not due to oppression. It's because we're doing some dirty shit back there.
The drugs.
Oh.
Smack.
So yeah,
Hmm.
that whole sit anywhere you like is complete bullshit. When black folk use the back of the bus to do some dirty shit. Don't come at me. I've seen it multiple times happening growing up.
I wouldn't really count going after people anyway.
No, but I'm saying like I'm pretty sure that anybody who hears this is gonna have dissenting opinions. And I'm like, don't you dare come at me. I have seen it. I have witnessed it. I
Well,
have witnessed black folk starting arguments and fights back there.
well, the other reason why I don't condone taking down statues all the time, especially the very historic ones, is because after you learn some of the dirty facts, there's a statue of Martin Luther King Jr. They just did referenced a picture of him hugging someone, and you have the female's arms around the back of one thing and the man's arms up underneath. It looks like lovemaking because they just did the arms and nothing else. And sometimes if you look just right, it can even look kind of phallic.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you have to tell them the history behind it in order to actually see it. It's like, wow, now we know what happens when you turn modern art upside down. It's basically a parked car with asphalt poured on it in the middle of a parking lot.
I don't not how your mind works will ever remain a mystery, Humble.
It's just I like finding dumb stuff to look up online.
And I'm supposed to be the eccentric.
I think
Just
we're all
imagining that the Secret Box episode of SpongeBob, the inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. And then a thought bubble comes up over spilt milk.
Oh man, Patrick was funny.
Anyway, I think we about said what we needed to say here.
Yeah.
And this might be the last time we talk about it too, because we ain't celebrating shit next year.
Yay!
Except for
Thank
Christmas
God.
and Easter.
Yeah,
And 4th
we're
of
celebrating
July.
real
4th of
holidays.
July. Meaningful holidays. Now, that's not to say that, that is not to say I'm encouraging anybody who's listening to not celebrate Black History. If you want to, that is your prerogative. If they take it off the month and you still want to celebrate, that is your prerogative. I'm not
you
here
can just
to
manually
tell you.
add that there.
I'm not here to tell you to do that. I'm not here to you are you, okay?
Yeah.
Y'all are you. But I will encourage, find any black folk that you admire that has done things, and I'm not again, just because we don't celebrate Black History does not mean we devalue every black accomplishment in history. We celebrate true accomplishment. Black people that didn't get to where they were by begging. Let's say that.
In short, he praises. He celebrates meritocracy.
There we go. So, you use if you want to celebrate Black history, celebrate Black history that was made through merit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
As the great Morgan Freeman once said, Black history is American history.
Thank
but
you.
I will also encourage the names like Booker T. Washington and our greatest greatest black figure that really set the bar. That really set the bar of what black excellence should represent. Frederick Douglass,
I was gonna
among
bring him
many
up.
others like Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. Of course, these we're referencing the days of slavery and you know before and after emancipation.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're sharing that because that was achieved through merit and a will to live, outside of bondage and functioning within freedom. You know,
And also people like Annie Malone.
Oh yeah.
and Booker T. Washington,
Mm-hmm.
Thurgood Marshall.
Because let's face it, most of the media is saturated with the American Civil War because it's interesting, but because they want to stick it on a pedestal. But if you do that, then you forget the stuff that happens outside of that.
Speaking of
like the
the
Barbary
Civil War,
Pirates and
speaking of the Civil War, it's kind of funny that they like to prop up the the 54th Massachusetts, which with good reason they should. But there's a part of history that they don't tell you about, and I just discovered this along with many others who have discovered this, April included, that the Confederates slaves aided them during the Civil War, helping them dig I believe trenches and all kind of encampments. I believe.
Yes.
Whatever the case may be, they were supporting their Confederate masters during the Civil War. Now, mind you, what they also don't tell you, and the movies tend to exaggerate the numbers sometimes. But when you look at the slave plantations, there ran no more than just 2 or 3 white men. They were never that big.
Mm-hmm.
And all those white men, all those white males went to war, leaving their plantations unprotected. And the slaves never took an opportunity to run away while those white folk was out there killing each other. Not one.
Nope.
Well, to be fair, war actually pretty much destroys systems, so you're kind of stuck there.
Well, the thing is, you got to think about this, Marty.
Hmm?
Their slave masters, along with their overseers, left the plantations unprotected. The slaves were functioning in their bondage efficiently while they're away. And not one of them probably have thought about it. But even then, they did not try to escape.
That's
now you can make the argument that the house Negro kept them in check, right? and in many ways, you know that would be true. But here's the thing: the house Negro was just one person, or maybe there may be a few of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember, their slave masters were gone. Their house Negroes, should they have known who they were, and they knew them by face, they knew them by name, were the only ones watching them, right? but there were few of them, few house Negroes, right? Per
Mhm.
house, maybe one or two, maybe even three. Yet the slaves were in abundance, outnumbering them 100-3. Hell, I'll do you one better. Slave masters were no more than three, maybe even four, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could have Amistad them. Just think about that for a minute. But I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, that's one thing that history they don't tell you at all on the Confederate side. They always tell the Union side mostly.
And
And
Yeah,
even
Tom
the,
of the Flower.
they tend to paint a rather unflattering picture, like of the Confederates.
Isaac
Yeah,
just
and
stated this in his Abe Lincoln video that the Emancipation Proclamation was supposed to be used for slaves to
rape
That's it.
the female managerial
managerial
class.
class while the men were away.
Hmm. We might have looked that up.
That
Shall we?
is one part of it. There was another one where the blacks had taken. Okay, remember when they had reparations done for the Indians?
Mm-hmm.
There were groups of blacks who decided to say they were descendants of Indians, which some parts were true, some parts were not. It was before the time of DNA tests. By the time the Indians got their quote unquote reparations, they got diddly squat because a bunch
Yep.
of guys decided to scam a welfare state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll talk more about that some other time.
And
And
this was
another
like,
talk
yeah, and this was like a story that family members of mine had found like on ancestry.com. That's where you can probably try to look it up and argue it into the dirt, which is good because there's like lots of stuff that happened during the West.
But yeah, going back to the whole celebration thing, whether you want to celebrate or not, or how you want to celebrate it outside of the month, take some time to look up some very merit meritocracy meritocracy through meritocracy. Look up some well-to-do black folk. Oh my God! You know what? One thing, thinking of black folk owning businesses and stuff like that. You know, the one thing that really stuns me so deeply, so painfully, the fact that we lost Aunt Jemima's syrup product.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, not just her, but also another prominent mascot. He was a black man because
Mm-hmm.
Uncle
because
Ben's.
yes, thank you, yeah, Uncle Ben. Yeah, because these SJ hobos, like they don't do their research. Not to mention the fact like the mascot, like
White
and
SJ hobos did this, and black folk allowed it.
yeah, without even doing the research, like Uncle Ben and Jemima. It's like those mascots, but based on real
They didn't
people.
do no damn research because one thing for sure, they should have left it well enough fuck alone.
Yeah, because everybody, like,
You know
nobody
what?
had an issue like with those two for years.
That all this shit that we're dealing with right now is because they do not leave shit alone. You didn't even stop to ask black folks' opinion about it at all. Y'all just got on the internet and said this was a problem, but you never asked black folk whether or not it was a problem. And then when you did, you did your damnedest to gaslight them into believing that it was a problem.
Well, it's a mindset that is very hard to get out of once you get into it.
And that's how it starts. I'm recognizing the pattern. That's how it starts. First, they find a problem with it. They don't ask anybody who they're supposed to be having a problem with on their behalf. And when they do try to do it, they pretend like they did, and they select a few of people that don't look like them to pretend that it's a problem, or they'll find the ones that are already conditioned this way, and they'll use them just to get what they want. It's white people getting what they want for having having a problem with something that never even had a problem to begin with. Yeah, exactly, William. He said, well, the beginning part of the war had nothing to do with slavery. Also, Indians hit to keep their slaves after the war, which caused violent conflicts with blacks to the 20th century. Yep.
It's not only
Exactly.
true.
Yep.
It's not only true, but you hardly hear anyone talk about that.
Yep.
So yeah, just don't go for looking for true history. Just look for history that is telling the truth. Period. Because the truth is what matters. Period. And what we have to say is gonna hurt a lot of feelings. Frankly, fuck your feelings.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Your feelings don't your feelings don't undermine the facts. As what was her name? Shara Haradi.
Yes.
The lady who didn't really spoke out against feminism per se, but did recognize there was issues within the black community between man and woman, and it was due to white folk. Now, mind you, she was, you know, she was right and wrong in her assessment and her approach, but at that time we didn't know no better still. But other than that, she's another one that people need to look at. I'm not 100% tonight.
That's
So
okay.
I can't
That's
really
fine.
say
The
names
one-
right now.
The one time when feelings do work, get for the one time when feelings actually do work is when you have a feeling in your gut when something's wrong.
Mhm.
She the black icon that Queen Latifah in her coming up modeled herself after. She wore the same hat as her.
Huh. Didn't know that.
Yeah, if you ever saw any of Queen Latifah's old music videos where she's wearing this interesting hat, that's from sure, can I say her name? Miss Ali, not no relation to Muhammad Ali. And that's another guy who I guys, y'all gonna hate me. Y'all gonna be disappointed me. I used to not like Muhammad Ali.
That's okay.
And that's mostly because I did not agree with his views towards the Vietnam War.
Mm.
And now?
Now, I respect them way more than ever. I chose to look at it from his point of view, at his angle, and considering all the things that I've learned now through Ralts about the Vietnam War. Yeah, it's a good thing his views were not founded, but I just didn't agree with his wording. Let's just say that.
It's the wording. It's the wording you took issue with, not really his viewpoints.
It's mostly to do with the whole he made it about race. Again. But I will say that he was not completely wrong. Because they did screw up black folk in the military too. Just not more so, just as much as they screwed white folk in the military. Let's not make it a competition on who was the most hurt of all in the military. Everybody got hurt. Black people just as much, not more so, just as much.
That's kind of
because white folk was fighting wars way before we were put into it, right?
the Jacob's Ladder effect.
So if we had to compare in competition, white folks still win it. They still win it because they were fighting the wars way more than we did. We stepped in every once in a while when they asked us, quote unquote. But point still stands. You dig?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another one, Jesse Owens. Definitely, you can celebrate Jesse Owens. Man made Hitler pissed off.
Yep.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Man pissed off Hitler, and he didn't even need a gun to do it. Thank you, Elric. They screwed poor people over.
Mm-hmm.
But again, yeah, we have over time have voiced our stated opinions about Black History Month. We have come to I guess we have come to agreement that we will never celebrate it anymore. We've already pretty much done it before many times already. So it's been as the title says, it's becoming a tradition at this point.
Yeah. But now one more person. Well, two people that also deserve to be celebrated in recognition of their actions. Lonnie Johnson, not only the creator of the Super Soaker water guns, and
Mm-hmm.
Joe Davis,
Mm-hmm.
a musician, an activist, and an actor who, like once upon a time, he actually befriended like members of the Ku Klux Klan, and through the friendships that he made, he actually they actually left the organization.
Mm-hmm.
What goes to show, like
Now,
he did more. He made a well meaningful impact than other members like of the civil rights movement.
I will swing back to the Black Panthers. There's something that did happen that was a net positive towards them. Some of them got arrested and ended up turning their life around. Now I don't remember their names, but they did turn their life around. Now, from what I heard from Ishii mentions that at some point, excuse me, at some point, the Black Panthers reinvented themselves as the Bloods and Crips. Ironic, isn't it?
Yep.
Which is
A
crazy
cruel
because
irony.
Tupac Shakur is the child of a Black Panther,
Unfortunately.
of two Black Panthers. Now, this is it's kind of. I always got the feeling. I always question why was I more a Biggie fan than a Tupac fan, despite the fact that Tupac is in my home state, born of my home state. And come to find out, his parents were former Black Panthers. Now that's not to say I. what are you talking about? Child of Flower. So I think I stopped caring about Black History Month was after I graduated high school, man, because it's such a school activity that it didn't really affect my life as much as until the woke crap occurred. You have got to be kidding me. On what? What am I kidding you on?
I think when you mentioned that Tupac's parents were former Black Panthers, I think.
Yeah, it's true though. They were former Black Panthers, and his mom is a handful, dude.
A handful who pretty much actually kept him and his dad away from each other.
Which really showed you something about how much the Black community had deteriorated at that point.
Oh no, it's the blood and crisps thing. That's what that is.
That sounds scary.
What's up, Mustard Ketchup Mayonnaise? Welcome.
On Twitch.
He said he's new. But yeah, he didn't go into details, but I might have to do my own research myself, which I'm too lazy to do right now. But yeah, from him I heard that they became the Bloods and Crips over time. Okay, Mustard Ketchup Mayonnaise. That's something I can't really advise you on because me being a countdown, I'm still in a marriage. Sorry about that. I can't really help you there. I think you need to okay, you're funny, man. He said he wants to.
Oh man.
Oh. Oh.
Hey, bro. What? Oh my God!
Okay.
Sheesh.
I knew to child of help. I can't help you with that, man. I can't decide on what I want. What kind of laptop I want at the time. You just choose one that's sleep, man. Just get the MacBook. If you all about traveling and computing, then get a MacBook. Ain't the MacBook the ones where you carry with you and stuff? They're you can carry in the bags. They're pretty light, right? And they flat.
You look up the catalog and skip all the technical stuff and go straight to the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you find all of the
Well, that's
computer
something you
knowledge
and your
without the
wife
studying.
discuss. I don't know what you derailed our conversation here about technology between you and your wife, man. Come on, you sound like you desperate.
Mm,
But yeah, back to Child Flower. I knew two girls in middle school who were giant Tupac fans and had to partner with them in doing a research project on him. They believed he was still alive back then. Oh yeah, that was. Oh yeah, I remember the Elvis stuff with the celebrity.
Yep.
Tupac was definitely one of them.
I don't remember that one. All I remember is the front desk lady at my high school had a shrine to Elvis Presley in her office.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I remember my
And
cousin
it
being
was
there.
actually pretty tame. It was basically open a cupboard door and there was this picture on the wall. No, the spicy one was a high school friend. I went to her birthday party. She drew a very well-detailed version of half-naked Legolas taking a bath.
Oh yeah, you told us about that. We were talking about the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yes. And that was our school heartthrob. It was an elf.
Oh yeah, that came on tonight, didn't it? That Rohirrim thing.
Yeah.
War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention much.
Just don't pay attention to that.
Speaking of movies, the only thing I'm only interested in right now is Paddington in Peru, and that's playing in my theater. Hopefully we can go watch that tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll be checking out that movie soon as well.
It'd be the first Paddington movie that I saw in the actual theater. I hope they don't stop making them, and I hope they don't get stupider though. I need to watch the second Paddington movie though. Yeah, it is. Hulk Hogan is too old to be making a comeback, man.
He's comfortable being retired as well as giving professional wrestlers advice.
Must have catch a man. They say those questions for a Q&A stream that we'll probably have in the future. You asking too many intrusive questions right now. First you asking personal questions, now you asking intrusive questions. Come on, man. Say that for the Q&A stuff. Where was that when we had our first and second Q&A?
2 years ago, I think.
But yeah, where was it? When we had the Q&A stuff, hardly anybody said anything. But listen to me being petty. Let me start wrapping it up before this night get even wilder, and I'm gonna go to bed. he playing with us at this point. So yeah, just you know what? One of these days we'll do a follow up thing about from now, and we'll talk more positively about things within the Black community that we really do we do admire. That's because he's speaking from Twitch, William. I can
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna email. We're not gonna share email, Mustard. You might have to go find someone else on that one. I don't know you that much. I don't know you that well.
Yeah,
But
don't go that personal with people on the internet. You never know what's behind the username.
exactly. Anyways, I thank everybody for being here. Those 5 of you now. And those non-existent motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Thank
I
you
think
so
he's
much.
now asking some weird questions in Twitch.
Don't get distracted.
Mm.
Don't get distracted. I don't think he's real. But thank you so much for everybody for you know, sticking around with us as long as you could while we talked about this. I get you're real, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I ain't gonna read no further. Sorry, man. But this is not the place to be asking that. He's having fun. Anyways, thank you everybody for hearing us out and hearing some brief history here and there. And unfortunately, guys, this history is true. The truth is out there. More truths are going to be exposed. A lot more people are speaking up. Those who were there as well have been speaking up now. Those that have witnessed this stuff. Those that were already that already knew what was going on, but probably wasn't able to say anything about it. Trust me. There are people who have been there when Martin Luther King was still around and knew that he was up to no good and did not like what he was selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, essentially, him and Jim Jones are probably a couple in the love boat.
True. Vince Everett Ellison was young enough to and just as conditioned as I was at the time, but he broke it down. He went and did research and looked everything up. He was on a roll speaking about this stuff during this month. In fact, go check him out, Vince Everett Ellison. That is Vince Everett Ellison, and check out his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with April, the Standard Truth podcast.
Yep.
Excuse me, the Standard of Truth podcast.
Yeah.
And of course,
everything.
Thomas
Yeah, everything by Thomas Sowell. He's covered a lot of stuff.
Which one? Probably one that would probably do a book reading or a book
But the question
study.
is, which one?
Well, black rednecks, white liberals.
No, not a bad read along. Was also conflict of visions.
Anyways, so yeah, not sure what we're gonna be doing just yet, but I do have a movie spotlight in mind. 2 actually.
Punisher.
That's one of them. That is
Lundgren or Jane?
Lundgren.
Nice.
It's been on my mind for quite some time now. We'll do a movie spotlight talking about the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie.
Yeah, it's interesting, like how that like early Marvel movie, like featuring the Punisher, like people looking back at it with fondness and appreciate it more so than they did previously.
Jesus, man, we could have had more movies like that.
Yeah, go back to when Incredible Hulk TV show and the guy, I'm forgetting his name. Apologies. No, not Lou Ferrigno. The guy who played Banner.
Bill Bixby.
Yeah, Bill Bixby. He directed those 2 films, and the first one had Kit Fisk and Daredevil, and then the next one had Thor, and he was trying to make his own little MCU thing, launch it out.
Yeah, well, it goes to show you that he is a genuine fan of the source material.
Shoot, we could have had Jennifer Waters way earlier than that, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we'll do that, and another anime spotlight is coming up. I'm still deciding on what show or what anime movie OVA we'll cover.
And stay tuned for upcoming episodes like of the Real Millennials this year.
Definitely. Subscribe to my channel, of course. And, well, let's do the roll call now. Starting with the Hound of the Saldonic Pal.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us in tonight's episode of the Real Millennials, like covering like Black History Month, and also just roasting it while before ending it like going over people that deserve to be recognized.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
hi, Leia.
Just when we were wrapping up and you arrived.
I
took
am
your
very
sweet
sorry.
time.
I sent a message. I had quite of a busy day and I dozed off and I did not catch your link. So I apologize, but I wasn't about to come in because I figured you were about to wrap up. So I am sorry, everybody. Well, I got a life too.
I know.
I left you.
I know.
I wasn't gonna come because I figured, okay, I missed
Ooh.
the thing. Because stop it, Dark Stranger. You know what I mean. You know what I
Get
mean.
your head out of the gutter, Scarecrow.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
The lovely Leia Val, Leia plus size.
Who
Hello.
just came.
You don't say a word, Dark
Get
Stranger.
your head out the gutter.
You need to stop. You need to stop. You need to. No. Hello, everybody. Sorry that I'm late. If you're about to wrap up, I can leave. I don't want to. I know you all been here since midnight, but I'm sorry. I just had a very busy day, and I laid down and okay, everybody be funny. All right, put with the jokes. Everybody's with the jokes. Everybody was funny, and I didn't see your link until a little later on, so I didn't mean to be late. Sorry about that. Saturdays are kind of busy days.
I should have reminded you that we were doing this today.
No, it's okay.
Well, what we will be doing, doing a part two in a way, but it's more of a history episode of the Real Millennials.
History of.
We'll do a
Okay.
follow-up.
Okay, give me a little bit more of a follow up on.
At Green Room, backstage. We'll do it in backstage.
Okay, all right.
The humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hello. My name is Humble Writing.
Writing.
Yeah, I'm humble writing, all right. I'm writing while I'm typing. My name is Humble Marty, and I write things. Thank you
The
for being here
humblest of
today.
Marty's humble writer.
Yes, I am.
The Warrior of Life, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Anyway, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure you ring that notification bell, that way you get notified of our latest videos. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope and pray we are never going to be doing this again now, because fuck all that. But remember, I forgot one part. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
The Sixth Ranger, Dark Stranger.
Sorry, I didn't really contribute much. Not really. It's not much to say at this point. Like, you know what you know, or you don't. And if you don't want to know, then enjoy obliviousness.
This is your welcome at a...
Wait, you forgot Dom.
I did say
Who's
Dom. I said Dom first.
He did.
Oh, never mind. I thought you forgot you. Sorry.
See, y'all ain't paying attention. See, that's what happened with the 14-15 thing. We slipping. We need to take a break off the internet. We slipping. Anyways, this is your welcome at to remind you guys that I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. Well, how do you fight racism? Stop talking about it. The way that I'm going to stop calling you a white man if you stop calling me a black man.
I think kind of getting that a little wrong, but okay.
Shut up. Of course, Thomas Sowell has the famous quote of saying, racism is not dead, it's on life support, and they keep trying to revive it. Paraphrasing.
Because we beat racism years ago.
Well, you ain't gonna find by asking people.
You're gonna relegate my history to a month? Oh, come on. What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? Well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not? Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Oh my goodness.
And with that, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
Hey, bro. What? Oh my God!